Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, Christina, Samastar. How is everybody doing today at whatever time of day you're joining in? I'm excited to bring our day 2 of our 7-day Wim Hof breathing and meditation challenge to you today. Welcome, Lisa. It's wonderful to see and be seen. We'll give a few minutes for people to join in. Welcome, Donna. If you're here for the first time, let me know, or I know Wendy, good morning, was here yesterday. I'm sure others of you as well. So I'd like to hear your experience if you were here, how it was for you, or if today is day 1 that you're joining in, that's totally fine too. And yeah, I will do a brief review of what we covered yesterday. I'll do that every day because this is, it's an open space. So, yeah. Welcome, Linda, Nancy, J.E. And crossing fingers, there won't be the video, just randomly crashing. And I'm glad that at least the audio was okay yesterday. So that's never happened before. If it happens again, then, it happens. We go with the flow, of course. Yes, so day 1 was yesterday. Today is day 2. And we will be going every day at this time until Monday will be the last one, which I think that's even 8 days, so whatever. Sunday, I do my regularly scheduled Sunday morning live stream. So it will be a combination, and it will be 2 hours later on Sunday morning in the US. So if you are new to either me or this challenge, I know Linda said and Donna both said it was their day 1s. I will give a brief review. I've also brought in, I wanted to share some of the benefits of the breathing because I gave some general benefits. So I wanted to read out the more specific benefits of doing this process, because when we know what we're doing, it actually affects our results in a good way. There was a study, Joe Dispenza talks about this, where there was 2 groups of housekeepers in a hotel, and the housekeepers, the benefit, like the physical benefits of doing that sort of activity are like, you get cardio, you build your muscles when you're changing beds and things. So in the control group, they didn't do anything, right? But in the second group, they told the housekeepers, like, this is the actual physical benefits of your job, of you doing these activities, and this is the specifics on how it affects you. And I don't know how often they did that, but anyway, there was a period of time, and then they took before and after, I don't know what, general body parameters like weight and maybe body fat or something like that. And they found that after the period of time that they were in the study, that the group of housekeepers, they told, this is the benefits of what you're doing for your physical body. Actually, they had more improvement than the control group because they knew what they were doing and the benefits that it had on them. So that's a really powerful study. So when I tell you the benefits of doing this Wim Hof breathing and meditation, it will make your results greater. So, hi, Lisa. Good morning. So, Wim Hof, for those who are joining in today, he is a man from the Netherlands. He holds a Guinness record for climbing Mount Everest without a shirt or oxygen. And he has developed, or he did years ago, this Wim Hof method, which combines, it has some physical yoga poses ish with it, which we don't do that here, but it's breathing combined with cold water immersion. So part of my invitation for you today, if it's day 1 or day 2, if it's available to you, I challenge you to do the cold water immersion. For most of us, that'll be a cold shower. If it's available to you wherever you are at your time of day, etc. Because this is going to give benefits that just doing breathing and meditation alone won't do. Did anybody take the cold shower yesterday? Yeah, true, J.E. Awesome, Wendy. I was thinking this morning when I got up at 5:45 a.m., I'm like, I need to do my Wim Hof and shower before this because I'm groggy. But I had my spiritual coffee, so I'm feeling more awake now. And there was also a question about nervous system, right? People who identify with having a sensitive nervous system or easily activated nervous system. So I also, I talked about that and I dove in a bit deeper on that and have some more information about that. So if you feel like, oh, I could never take a cold shower, or this breathing is too vigorous, or it feels like it might be triggering for me, we did talk about alternatives to the cold shower. I would invite you to do the shower, and push through that. And of course, everyone's got their own situation. So if you're one who isn't going to do that, you can do, somebody mentioned doing a bowl of ice water and a face immersion into the bowl of ice water. I feel like that would be quite stimulating. It's not going to give the same whole body cold water immersion benefits, and it will give some benefits. As far as the breathing goes, if you're one who feels, sensitive to its vigorous breathing, the way you can work with that is just not taking such full deep breaths. So this is the breath I take. And I've been doing this a long time. So, yeah, I'm used to it. I'm practiced with it. And that's, me breathing to 100%. So you could take a less fuller breath, or a less vigorous, a softer breath. Summer Star. Yeah, take it right away. I don't know the science behind that. And Wim Hof, that's what they always, they're usually outdoors in some place where it's cold in winter, and, yeah, they will get directly into the cold. So I would recommend doing that. Donna, I would invite you to take the cold shower. This is a very specific practice, and allow yourself to be surprised. Ooh, awesome. So, yes, I actually recommend, another question, to breathe laying down if you're new at this. You'll be able to, when you're sitting, you have the weight of your body. So your breathing is just a little bit restricted. If you're laying down, your lungs are very open to breathe. So I would suggest laying down and doing the breathing laying down. Again, if that's not available to you, modify. It's totally fine. If you are going to be sitting up, make sure you have support on either side of however you're sitting, because you never know. Sometimes people can get quite lightheaded and fall over. So make sure, if you're new at this, if you're seasoned, you know how it goes. But if you're newer at this, make sure if you're seated that you're have a landing pad on either side, and optimally laying down. Awesome, Donna. So I'll give the benefits of the breath work. Let me pull that up. So what we're doing is this specific breathing, meditation, and then the cold immersion. So the breathing increases oxygen and carbon dioxide tolerance. It releases adrenaline and noradrenaline that boosts your alertness and reduces inflammation. So that's one of the biggest benefits this is known for, is a reduction of inflammation in the body, which is very important. It's a controlled activation of the sympathetic nervous system. It can improve vagal tone over time. So the vagus nerve, as we all know, is responsible for helping us go into parasympathetic, rest and digest. And we want to, if there is a nervous system trigger, activating the vagus nerve helps us come into calm. So this can improve the vagal nerve tone over time, and it can enhance immune response. Meditation, general benefits of meditation. We know those. I'll read a list. It can help us to increase our benefits. So it lowers cortisol and stress hormones, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, improves emotional regulation and focus. And it talks about the prefrontal cortex activation, which is our most human part of our brain, the newest part of our brain, and it can reduce inflammation markers over time. So all of these things help with inflammation. The cold water immersion triggers norepinephrine release that's anti-inflammatory and mood boosting, improves circulation, and it says it activates brown fat. So Wim Hof talks a lot about this brown fat. I don't know enough about it just to say go listen to him or find out about that yourself, but it increases your metabolism. It's like, I think it's the good fat. So, and it strengthens your immune system, and it enhances recovery and resilience to stress. So when you're doing this in a controlled way, you're training your body and your nervous system, and you're getting all these, physical health benefits. You don't want to have a belly full of liquid before you do this. I mean, I had my coffee, 20 minutes ago or something like that, because we will be doing diaphragmatic breathing. So, and I went over that a bit yesterday. So we're going to do, again, like we did yesterday, 3 rounds of the breathing. And I'm going to explain that implicitly. And then we'll go into a brief, loosely guided meditation. Usually when I do my Reiki and ancestral clearing and guided portion of the practice in my live streams, I mean, it depends, and I tend to do a bit more guidance, but with this, it's less guidance. It's more simple, meditation guidance. So the breathing is, I'm going to count. We're going to do 30 inhales. So you can just hear me and listen to me. And you can follow my pace. And again, you can take the fullest breath, or you can take a less vigorous breath. It's up to you. You want to breathe into the belly. So when you breathe in, the belly goes out. That's how you know you're breathing with your diaphragm. Imagine when you're breathing in that your belly is a balloon that's filling with air. So that's the diaphragmatic breath. You can try that. Make sure your belly's going out. When you exhale, the belly will relax and deflate. So then you can breathe into your chest. And it doesn't have to be some rigid thing, right? Just an intention. Okay, belly, chest. And you can even imagine the breath going all the way into the very top of the lungs, which is around the collarbones, if you want. So just notice that. And then the exhale is just going to be relaxed. Do not push air out. Let it fall out of you, and it will naturally. So just let it fall out. You can breathe in through your nose or mouth. If you want a more oxygen, a bigger breath, breathe through your mouth in this way. That's not it. This is the way I found. It's like taking through a straw. Great question, Sama Star. I would say, I mean, it's intuitive. Go with what works. If you have back issues, raise the knees, or if you want to lay flat, I would say lay just completely flat is best. Then you're not having to think about it. So I am going to, because this is my preference, and I didn't do it yesterday. I modeled it, but I didn't do it. But I like this, the 2-part breath, where you take 2 breaths in. So then it's like belly, chest. And there are scientific benefits to this as well. When you take another breath on top of an in-breath already, it expands the lung sacs more. So you get more lung capacity. Something you can play with. You don't have to do it, but I prefer to do it that way. And I find it's easier to be like, okay, belly, chest. So I will be doing it that way. You can just go, or with your nose, but there are additional powerful benefits to doing that breath. So any questions on that part of the breathing? And just let the breath fall out. Just follow my breath. So at the end of the 30 breaths, I'll say last one, deep breath in, hold at the top. And we'll just hold briefly at the top on the inhale. And you want to, if it's available, to really take that deep breath in, because we're about to do an exhaled breath hold. So after that, exhale, again, just letting it fall out. And then you're going to hold on the exhale. So, and we're going to time this. You're holding on the exhale. Very little air in the lungs. I will time this. We're going to do it as we did yesterday. So towards the end of this 7-day challenge, we may experiment with doing some longer exhaled breath holds as you all get practiced with this. And for now, it's day 2. We're just going to do what we did yesterday. So 3 rounds. We're going to hold for 1 minute the first round, 1 minute 15, and then 1 minute 30. And I may give like, okay, 15 seconds, 5 seconds remaining. You want to experiment with pushing yourself and you know, being mindful about that. With the inhale, the way I do it, the way I find I get most of the air into the lungs is this like that, sipping it vigorously through a straw. But again, meet yourself where you are and, you know, challenge yourself too. If you feel it's accessible to go outside your comfort zone a bit. And again, it's up to you. The fact that you're here at all is great. So on the exhale, we'll hold the exhale. Now there is some science, okay? I heard this explained once. So this is something just to consider, and I play with this because I've done this a lot. And on these like longer exhaled breath holds, you know, trying to do like 2.5, 3 minutes. Your body will start needing oxygen. And you may find this at 1 minute if you're new. And sometimes I still have that. You'll notice the body is wanting air. Something, and I'm going to look this up for tomorrow because I would like to know the exact science. But I heard it explained that like, say you are swimming underwater and you're holding your breath and you're coming up to the surface and you're like, oh my God, like I really need to breathe and I'm almost there. But in those last few seconds before you get to the top, you know, you're having to hold your breath and you're feeling this experience in the body. And then you reach the surface and you breathe. So that, you know, few seconds time releases a lot of very special beneficial. I think it's probably more of what I gave the benefits of, but it does this in a very, like, to have that time period where you're like really wanting to breathe and not, you get a ton of extra benefits basically by pushing through. And again, you know, you're just listening to a live stream. This isn't one-on-one guidance or in a live group. So you get to also be discerning for yourself, right? About what you can do. And just to say, this is available. So maybe just experiment if you, just to try and push through a little bit more. So Star, do you exhale during the whole long hold? Yeah, so it's the 30 breaths. Then I'll say deep breath in, hold at the top. And then you hold that just until whatever, it's just a little bit. And then exhale, hold the exhale for the minute, for the length of time. So then at the end of that, I'll say, okay, and you'll hear a timer go off, and then you breathe in, hold the breath on the inhale after the long exhale. You can squeeze your perineum, your pelvic floor. You can squeeze your belly. Wim Hof has this no Samastar. You exhale and you hold. So hold. You don't push the air out. And these are great questions. Thank you for asking. Everybody's thinking them. You let the exhale fall completely out. Don't push any air out. Just let it fall and then hold. That's it. Stop. I mean, there's nothing else to come out really. So, no, Donna, this is not ocean breathing. Is how do you say it? Uashai breathing. Ushai. I forgot, but no. Good question. I've heard of the Soma breathing, J.E. There's so many techniques out there. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, Wim Hof didn't invent this. He created this method in sequence, and popularized it with his in feats of strength. I heard one time that he went so deep down into cold water, his retinas cracked. Like, this guy, he's he's extreme. Okay, yeah, great. So we'll do 3 rounds of that. Then I'm going to guide us into a very basic guided meditation. It'll be about 10-12 minutes because I want to be mindful of this being an hour long because it's morning for some people and you have work to go to and things. So I want to keep this to at an hour. So, and I'm going to get my timer out as well. So, the inhales as we went over, the exhales, you'll hear me, you can follow my pace. You can, again, slow it down if that feels better or take less of a volume, 70% instead of 100% if that's good for you. And then at the end, we'll take a deep breath in, hold it in. Exhale, hold the exhale. I'll start the timer. You'll hear it go off. I may give a warning. And then we'll take a deep breath in. You'll squeeze the pelvic floor, the belly. Even Wim Hof says squeeze the neck and head. You want to imagine the energy going to the top. And that is 1 round. Hi, Bridget. Just in time. Okay. All right. So, closing the eyes if you want. You don't have to, but it seems pretty natural to do so. And let's just take a few mindful breaths together. In through the nose. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. 10 more. Three. One. Deep breath in. Hold at the top. Breathe in and hold. Exhale. Hold the exhale. No breathing. Ten seconds. Breathe in. Hold at the top. Squeeze. Pelvic floor, chest, belly. Roll the eyes to the top of the head. And exhale. Take a deep breath in through the nose. That was round one. For round two, I will do the double in-breath that I modeled, where it's 2 inhales into the belly and chest like this. If you want to experiment with that or continue just the single breath is fine. And we will begin round two in 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. Breathe in fully. Hold at the top. Exhale fully. Hold at the bottom. Hold the exhale. No breathing. Ten seconds. Breathe in fully. Hold at the top. Squeeze the belly, pelvic floor, chest, neck. Imagine the energy going up through the spine into the top of the head. Squeeze and release. Take a full breath in through the nose. You might yawn. Third and final round. In 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Three, 2, 1. Breathe in fully. Hold at the top. Exhale fully. Hold at the bottom. Exhale. Do not breathe in. 15 seconds. Breathe in. Hold at the top. Squeeze the belly, chest, head. Imagine the energy going into the head. And exhale. Just take a few breaths in through the nose, or deeper breaths. Exhaling through the mouth. And we're going to go directly into the meditation. We will meditate for about 12 minutes. I set the timer. So just noticing the body, noticing the sensations. Just being with what's here. Just letting go. Bringing the awareness and the focus to the breath, and you can focus either on the sensation of the breath in the nose, keeping your full focus and attention there, or the movement of the belly as it moves in and out. Bringing all of your attention, all of your awareness to these sensations, to the exclusion of everything else. You want to practice with not controlling the breath, just allowing it, and it can aid focus and concentration to mindfully take slower, deeper breaths. You can start with that, then you can experiment with just letting the breath breathe you. And being the witness of it. I also invite you to bring in an energy of devotion to this practice. Devotion being loving, being care, being the mindful and loving witness. And release any energy when you notice it come up of performance, of rigidity, of judgment, of good, bad, right, and wrong. In meditation, the mind does, the awareness gets identified with the mind. That's part of it. So the practice is when you notice to be very gentle, loving, and devote yourself to that as you bring yourself back to the breath practice. And lastly, bringing in the intention of we are sitting not just for ourselves. We are doing this practice not just for ourselves, but for all sentient beings. sitting with a sense of devotion to that. And you notice the mind has wandered. Here's your moment. With joy, with celebration, when you notice you've identified with a stream of thinking, wonderful, I've woken up from the dream. And with the next inhale, again focusing on the sensations in the nose or in the belly. Just being devoted to that. And being a loving witness to what's here. And reminding yourself that we are sitting for us all. For peace. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. And remember, you are one of those beings. So you can give loving kindness to yourself. Also, may I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace. So you can slowly, gently, easily bring some movement back to your body. Breathe in. With the eyes open, just feel into the body in this practice. And welcome back. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome. Thank you for the donation. Wow. 10 minutes in the ice plunge. That is amazing, Rebecca. Hello to Suzanne. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, Rebecca, what have been the benefits for you of doing this practice along with the ice plunge? And great question again. Thank you, Summer Star. So we'll conclude in just a moment. And the invitation is for you to go take a cold shower. When I get in the shower, and Rebecca might have tips on this more than me, because yeah, a cold shower is not an ice bath, and it's still great. But when I get in, I do some breaths like this. like in and out, pushing it out and in. That helps me stay grounded as the cold water comes. You can also play with it. You can start less cold and go cold. I find for me, and I do suggest, push yourself. And just get in the cold and work with it. Yeah, so I usually turn the shower on and step into it. Wonderful, Donna. That means that you've really oxygenated your body. Yes, great. And that means you were really breathing, doing that. That's awesome. Yep. So thank you, Randy, for the donation. Wow, putting your head under, Rebecca. Great. So I did go over the benefits in the beginning. You can research the benefits of doing this. There are many. It will help motivate you. And actually, as I told you earlier too, the study that Joe Dispenza talked about, that people knowing the benefits of what they were doing actually made them get more benefits. So I will see you all same time tomorrow for day 3. Bring your friends. And it doesn't matter that, if you don't have to do all 7 days, I mean, it's great. And then, you can, it's not like each day builds on the other, except, like I said, maybe in a few more days, we might be doing some longer breath holds. So, yeah. Hi, Drazel. I hear you, and I invite you to step outside your comfort zone and practice, and you're not the only one. So what it may be is, like Rebecca said, first they were just getting in with their lower legs. It might be just letting your lower legs have the cold water. Something like that. So, and also too, researching the benefits can also motivate you, because it has really amazing benefits. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Suzanne, for the donation. Lisa, Wendy, Donna, J.E., everybody. See you same time tomorrow. And much love. Me too. Who else is going into the shower? Let's go. I'll see you on the other side and want to hear about it. Bye-bye.